What is happening, Zymbologist? It's Dane Short coming to you guys with another training. I am super excited about this. We have a straight up rock star celebrity guest coming on today. For those of you who don't know who Jessica Higdon is, she is definitely a big deal. I'm assuming most of you guys do. Her and her husband, Ray, are all over this space, and she's going to come to us with some tips today. Jessica, thank you so much for being on.
Oh, I am so honored to be on here. And well, maybe you don't want to share the story about how we met, but I just want to share a little story about your product when I get a second. So.
Totally. Yeah, no. So Jessica and I met, we were at the Ambitious Women's Conference in Dallas last month, I guess, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And you were speaking there. I was one of the few guys that was around there. And I was really glad to have met you and get some information off you and everything. And yeah, I would like to hear that story about the product because I think that maybe ties into when we met.
Yeah, so it's so funny. So before we were going into the event, we were looking at all the tables, and one of our partners that works with us, that works with our coaching group, she was going around the tables and looking at different products and things like that, and she saw the Zymbols, and she fell in love with it right away, as I'm sure most people do. It's just such a cool product you guys have. And so she called me over and said, "Oh my gosh, look at this, Jess. It says Top Earner Club, Play Bigger." And that's the exact name of our group, and that's our slogan, right? Play bigger. So she told me, like, this symbol right here, that's what it means, Top Earner Club, Play Bigger. And I was like, what? Really? It says that? That's amazing. And then Dan was like, wait. It does say that, which is super cool, but it can say whatever you want.
Totally.
So I was so gullible and just thought, like, oh my gosh, we have to get like 1 million of these.
Totally.
So just that intro into the product was really cool and a fun way to introduce it. You can literally tell people it means whatever they want it to say. So I just wanted to share that story because it really opened my eyes to what a cool product you guys have. And we were just in love from the start. So
yeah, well, thank you. And it actually doesn't really make you too gullible because of the fact that it actually did say that. So in all reality, you were right on track.
You're too kind. Too kind.
So for those of us the reps that don't know you, will you tell me a little bit about yourself and kind of how long you've been in the business and your journey?
Sure. So I started in network marketing, direct sales when I was 21 years old. And I was working full-time at a makeup counter. I was also going to school full-time for a marketing degree. And I was also trying to build a part-time wedding business doing makeup. So to say that 90 to 100 hours a week of my time was already spoken for might have been an understatement. I mean, I literally was 12, 14-hour days and then doing schoolwork throughout the middle of the night. And then on weekends, just devoting that to weddings. And I would do sometimes 5, 6 weddings in a day. So what I realized was at 21 years old, I was about to graduate with a marketing degree. I was starting to go on interviews, and I realized that I'm working my tail off only to be offered minimum, maybe a little bit above minimum wage, with the possibility of a raise within 10 years, right?
Totally.
And a lot of them had nothing to do with what I went to school for. So that was another, kick to the stomach of, geez, I really want to do something with marketing. So I was working 100 hours a week, not making much money, still broke, and just realized that's not the path that I want to take. So found network marketing, didn't know anything about it. I knew nothing. I didn't have any stigma towards it because nobody had ever shared it with me. I just looked at the model and I said, you know what? This makes sense to me. This makes sense. Why wouldn't this make sense to anyone? And so I dove in. And for the first 6 months, guess how many people I signed up?
Probably not a lot.
None. Not one person.
Yeah.
I went to all my friends at the makeup counter. They all thought I was crazy. I had a lot of college friends, so I went to them. They thought I was crazy. I went to their parents, and their parents actually listened to me, which was like the first presentation I ever did. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's going to be great. They're all going to sign up. And at the end of those presentations, they would always just say, oh, Jess, you're so cute. That was such a good job. And it was so degrading, right? So nothing was working for me. 6 months, no signups. So I saw some people that were having some success on social media. And I thought, at first, I thought Facebook was just a place, because back, 10 years ago, Facebook wasn't what it is today. So I thought it was just a place where you say what kind of sandwich you're eating. And I thought it was kind of stupid, to be honest. But I thought, if they can make it work, so can I. So I came onto social media, no business experience, very young. I didn't have a Lambo or any flashy thing to show off, like nothing, no brand, and just started prospecting, just started doing some marketing and prospecting. And long story short, within the next 12 months, so it took me 18 months total, the next 12 months, I had my first $10,000 month.
Wow.
Then I went on to have a 6-figure year, then multiple 6-figure years, and then I became the number one income earner of that particular company, number one female income earner.
Fantastic.
And so fast forward from there, my husband and I, who's now my husband, we were actually separate positions in that company, and he was the top income earner and I was the top female. So that was kind of funny.
Very cool.
And we got married and we started training people about how we did it, because a lot of people were asking, how'd you do social media? How did you possibly do this? And we just started doing some free training, and then there was such a demand for it, we started doing some paid training, and that business just completely took off. And we were able to be on the Inc. 5000 and Entrepreneur 360 and all kinds of crazy things. And so we decided about 3 years ago to sell our network marketing positions and just focus on coaching and training full time. Not because we don't absolutely love the direct sales profession. We are in love with it. It's amazing. It's because this is where our focus was more meant to be, and we couldn't burn the candle at both ends. And so also with coaching and training, it's good to not be tied to any company, because, for example, like your Zymbologist, know that I have no ulterior motive here. I'm not here to recruit people or anything like that. Just here to train you and hopefully move the needle for you. So yeah, that's what's going on with me.
Yeah, I love it. And even, I mean, it's almost unnecessary in saying that you guys love direct, even though you love direct sales, you went coaching, because there's such a need for the coaching, right? Like what you're doing now is benefiting more people in the direct sales MLM industry, because you're able to kind of empower them and take them up. And I also love how organic it was that you are in the place that you are now, like much like the Zymble story, right? Like it was,
sure.
What my mom did, like she could have walked around the rest of her life just wearing the one pendant she had cast. But once we saw the K and found the alphabet, we kind of started taking it step by step, and it sounds similar, even though it's completely different. And just, you didn't set out to like, hey, I'm working a 9-to-5 job and I'm going to become a coach. Right. And sometimes when there are coaches that haven't necessarily proven it themselves, like been in the industry and done multiple 6 figures, you have to be a little suspect of that, right? Like, why should I listen to you?
Absolutely.
So out of your experience and what you've seen over the last couple of years, what do you think the number one reason people fail in this industry? What do you think it is?
I would say, honestly, the number one reason they fail is lack of long-term vision. So, and that's not just lack of long-term vision with their company or even with network marketing as a whole or direct sales. It's a lack of long-term vision for the strategy that they're using. So let me explain what that means. We live in an ADD world now. Mm-hmm. There is trainings over here, trainings over there, strategy here, strategy there. And there are a million ways, literally a million ways to make $1 million. Yeah. And we train a lot of 7, sometimes even 8-figure earners in this space. And not one of them has gotten there the exact same way. Okay, not one. So I think people see a slew of strategy out there, and they find a mentor they like, and they start following them for a little bit, and they try that strategy, and then they see something else and they try that strategy because they think, oh, well, this hasn't worked for the past 3 months I've been doing it. Let me just move over here and start doing this because it worked for this person. It'll work for me. And so they don't believe 100% and have the long-term vision in the strategy that they're using. And so every 3 months, they're trying something different versus every 3 years. It takes a good solid 12 to 36 months to really start to see some momentum come into your business if you've been consistently doing a strategy. If you just give it 3, even sometimes 6 months to see if it works out, then you're just not going to see that long-term success unless, you get lucky or what have you. So that, to me, is the biggest mistake I see, is not just long-term vision for yourself and your goals, but long-term vision for your strategy as well.
Yeah, and I think that's great, and I hope everybody takes that to heart. What happens a lot with Zymbo, and it's probably similar with other companies, is they're hearing the story for the first time. They think it's super awesome. Like, of course I want to be a Zymbologist, right? And then they kind of go on the same journey that you went on. They get their box. It's awesome. And they go out to their immediate contacts and friends and family. And in our scenario, they might be able to sell 1 or 2 pendants just because people hadn't heard of it before. But then, that first realm of influence is kind of gone. And now it's like, well, who do I turn to now? And the whole seeing a new shiny object and, oh, this strategy, especially in the way technology is moving right now with the different, like whether you're opening a Twitch channel or Facebook TV or Instagram TV, and it's like, it's really easy to spread yourself thin instead of just like pounding down on like, this is my strategy, it's going to work. And I love that you said that it does take a year, maybe more than a year to actually start seeing the income come in. It's super easy to get demotivated. And, I was talking to Simon Chen, kind of about the same thing. And he was saying that his analogy with direct sales is versus a job is that when you get a job, you're overpaid at the beginning and then underpaid the rest of your life. And then with direct sales, you're underpaid at the beginning and then overpaid the rest of your life because you can direct. And I think that's kind of needs to be the thought process, right? Like, this is going to take a while to build up. So
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's personal motivation and especially finding someone like you that you can work with that actually keep motivated. That is where. So that's what you're talking to succeed in this.
Yeah, so I would say number one, and I know that you've probably all heard this before, but a lot of you actually aren't embracing it, most likely, is you have to believe 100% in direct sales and network marketing. For me, I didn't realize that this was holding me back. And that was a big part of why the first 6 months I didn't get signups, because I didn't 100% believe in not only what I was selling, even though it was an amazing product, but the industry as a whole, the profession as a whole. And so people could hear that in my voice. They could sense my kind of hesitation and my meekness, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
You have to go to the events, hear the stories, listen to Dane talk about the success stories within the company. It's so important because it builds that belief. And again, you've probably heard this before, but do you really 100% without a doubt, 0 doubt in your mind, believe that this is the path for you? You've cut out all other decisions. This is the path you're taking. You're going to make it work, hell or high water. Most people don't have that belief. So you have to have that. That's absolutely number one. Number 2 is consistency. If you're consistent in whatever strategy you do, you'll succeed. It's a hard thing to do. It's easy to do, as Jim Rohn would say, but also easy not to do. So the best way that I found to stay consistent is 2 things. 1, finding somebody to partner up with, like an accountability partner, somebody that can hold you accountable. Oftentimes it's your spouse. You live with them, and if they're supportive, at least, they can hold you accountable and say, are you doing what you're doing? Or maybe it's your kids if they're old enough. Are you doing what you're doing? a lot of times the spouse isn't supportive. So it could be your business partner or somebody that you work with within Zymble. So that's the first one. Second one is I would tell myself to be consistent that I was going to do one. So I was going to prospect one person. If I felt like, I had a flu coming on or I had a million things to do and I just didn't feel like it, I'm like, all right, I'm just going to get in front of my computer and I'm going to do one. And you know what happens is that one turns into 5 and then you get on a roll and then it turns into 10. So a person in motion tends to stay in motion, right? Yep. So if you change your state and do that one, you're going to see massive success. Much better than doing 20 today and nothing for 8 weeks, right? If you just did one every day for 8 weeks, that's much better than doing 50 today and nothing for 8 weeks.
Totally.
Lastly, and just a little social media tip, most of us are not utilizing the search function well at all. We are so spoiled with all of the tools and tips that we have nowadays to build a business. Even back when I was building one, which wasn't that long ago, we didn't have nearly the tools that we have today to find the exact type of person you're looking for. Mm-hmm. People do not utilize on social media the search function well enough. If you just search, like let's say you want to work with moms that maybe want to give this as a gift for their kids. You just search, I'm looking for a great gift for my kids for Christmas, right? You'll see tons of posts come up. You'll see tons of stuff come up, groups, posts, friends, not friends, people you're connected to, people you're not connected to, that have those keywords in either their profiles or on their posts and things like that. You'd be amazed at how if you really just think a little outside the box and utilize that search function, you're going to get a more qualified prospect and it's going to save you time in the long run. So I think if you embrace those 3 things, you'll see more success and it'll take you up a notch and really teach it to your people as well.
Totally. And that's it seems like you said, people have heard of these things before, but some of it is basic, but at the same time, it's like, it's right in front of you. And sometimes it's the messenger, same message, different messenger that actually gets it to resonate. And we say a lot with kind of your first point about actually believing in it, that we've, sailed to Zymble Island and burnt the ships. Right. So
nice.
that's it. We're on the island. We're either going down or that's it. Cause there's no second option. And, I think there's a lot of value, and I've seen this in just one sale, exactly like you're talking about, whether that's prospecting one person or literally selling a Zymble, right? Like one pendant, even our $16 acrylic pendant, like you can see the person's confidence boost, because they told the story and someone responded well and purchased a product. It's like, oh, I could do this more. And there's so much maybe buildup that is all mental of like being stuck. Which strategy should I do? Wait, I need to be on this webinar and I need to be on this and I need to do this. And you're so stretched thin. It's like, stop everything, sell one Zymble, just literally one, and then see where that goes. And then tomorrow, another one. And I think that's really valuable. And then with the search function, that's fantastic. Thank you for sharing that tip. And that doesn't necessarily mean that, because you can go in and start connecting with those people. That doesn't mean you want to be the salesy weirdo, as Molly Mahoney would say, but you're going in, right? And you have something valuable and they're looking for gifts and they're kind of in our target audience, then that's someone that we want to connect with. So
yeah. And thank you for bringing it up because that's an important point. So when you use that search function and you find the low hanging fruit, right? Because there is low hanging fruit out there. You don't have to make it harder on yourself. When you find those people, you don't just message them and say, hey, buy my product, or you don't just post on their status like, hey, here's my link, go ahead and buy my Zymble. You build a connection with them, or you at least ask, hey, what type of gifts are you looking for? Or start asking some leading questions that leads them to where you want them to go, which is obviously to either become a customer or a business builder.
Right. And I think a lot with Zymble is that people can start as customers, and then since it's such a conversation piece and every time they have it on, people are asking them about it, they then are like, God, I have a lot of people that want this. Like, do you guys have a business opportunity here? And then people end up becoming Zymbologist through being a customer.
Absolutely.
And start with, the search function and just making that authentic connection. So thank you so much. I think that's super valuable. I hope everybody takes that to heart. If in fact some people want to work with you, which I hope every Zymbologist from here to eternity does, how can they? What kind of programs do you offer now? I know this will be kind of evergreen, but currently.
Yeah, so we actually run a group called Rank Makers, and it's a private Facebook community with people from all different companies, but I assure you it's a very, very safe space. There is no prospecting there, nothing like that. And what we do in that group is we give you an action step every single day. And we also have contests, and we give away prizes and things like that, so that really it's almost like our team, but not our team, right? It's our coaching team. So if you guys want more details on that, you can, and don't give out this link because it's not open all the time. This is just for you guys. You can go to higdongroup.com/RM secret. It stands for Rank Maker Secret, and get access to that. And if it resonates with you, great. And if not, that's certainly okay. We're on Facebook, and we have tons of free training out there as well.
So awesome. And I'll post that link when I post this video. And Jessica, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it, and I hope everybody got some value out of here. I don't want to take up more of your time. I know you're busy, but truly appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to stay in touch with you as we continue to link arms and grow.
Yeah, absolutely. Excited for you guys. You've just got an incredible product, and I know you're going to do great things. So thanks so much for having me on.
Absolutely.